So yeah. Anyway, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another DHG Industry stream. My name is Derek G. I will be your host with the most. We are joined by Mid, who is not going to be talking a whole lot because she's got some mouth issues going on that I'm not going to get into detail about. Anyway, we are playing Mafia 3. We are continuing to conquer Sinclair Parish so that we can grow the best and most awesome weed on the planet and make lots of money. God, I wish it was this simple in real life. If I could grow my own pot, I would. But the fact of the matter is that I would have to have a greenhouse that was lockable to do it, using sunlight and dirt. And if I wanted to do it in the house, it would take a lot of electricity. Anyway, so yeah, I just want, my mouth is so cool because I inherited hard enamel and really good enzymes. I've told you this before, and so I end up with weak spots. I had barely brushed, if not brushed at all through my teens, and I only had weak spots, no actual cavities. When I went to the dentist in the beginning of my 30s, I believe. Mid to late 20s, early 30s, and which is unusual because like if you had the brushing and oral hygiene habits that I did, you should have had something in a normal person's mouth. That's what my dentist was telling me. But the fact of the matter is that I didn't. All I had was weak spots, and it was the chemo that caused the actual cavities to form completely. The dentist explained it to me when he found out that I had gone through chemo and stuff. He explained that the chemo attacks the bone tissue and muscle, and the bone density and everything, and it also will cause your teeth to get weaker because your mouth doesn't supply as much saliva. On top of that, hello. I'm gonna play my game. You can come up here and snuggle if you want.
We are a congregation open to all.
Yeah. Gibbs is up here actually snuggling already.
Christ, man. We don't get too many colored folks in these parts. Southern Union sees to that.
Yeah, those assholes have their hooks in Sinclair.
Gibbs has gotten it. He understands that if he just gets up in my lap and just curls up, that I'll just snuggle with
him. He figures if he lets the Southern
Union
loose.
Ducky hasn't quite gotten that.
Keep folks quiet. So you want
he wants active pets.
Make it hard for the Southern Union to operate.
And I can't active pet while I'm gaming. And I active pet it from the time that I was done eating to the time that I finished the chapter I was reading in my story. I was actively petting him. But he's also like, part of it probably is that he's being a little bit clingy because of the fact that I left the house to go grocery shopping today, and then I went outside to talk to the new gardener we're gonna get, and then I went and laid down for a couple hours without him. But they can't be trusted with the doors open to where they can get to me and everything. They cannot be trusted, unfortunately. They will pee on my chair. And that drives me crazy.
Sure use some wheels over here.
The only reason this chair hasn't been ruined, because they did it once already that I know of, is because the fabric is treated, because this is a brand new chair, the fabric is treated a little bit to be stain resistant. So I had to start instituting that thing where I constantly put the gate up if I'm not going to be in the living room, or if I put the gate up if I'm going to be in the kitchen for a while and I can't keep an eye on them, like when I'm doing dishes, so that they can't get to the living room. And it's not like we haven't tried teaching them not to do this shit. We have. They just do. We've tried everything. We've tried actually properly training them to the no-go sprays and stuff like that, to you know, everything. We've even trained them to let us know when they have to go potty. But the problem is that they just don't let us know all the time. Or what they do to mom sometimes when I'm awake, they'll tell mom that they have to go out, and then they come out to grab me to take them outside instead of letting mom take them outside. Ducky, what are you doing? What were you doing? He was laying against me while I was playing the game just fine, and then he suddenly decided, I guess, to that he wanted to do something else. I get it. Technically, I'm supposed to be wandering around killing everybody from my car, like fast-paced, you know, blah, 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 right? But I'm going to see what I can do about just sniping them from the car. That's not good. Hold on, let me go like this. I don't have to be in the car. Go ahead. There we go. At least this part I don't have to be in the car.
It was a couple of niggas tearing ass around the paddock. There was a time them fools knew their place. Wouldn't say boo unless...
That was hard to judge where his head was because of that damn hood.
Got a shallow drop. Did some damage there.
The what? What does that mean? Oh. I thought they used Novocaine. Well, you said they were going to use laughing gas. But they normally part of what they normally use, well, at least for me anyway, is they use lidocaine shots into your mouth. That's because you're weird about dentists. I've seen so many doctors had so many needles and shit done to me because of the cancer treatments. Nah, I've never had a bad experience with a dentist.
I need a resupply.
Be out directly.
I wouldn't think it would be. I need to get my freaking sniper back.
Show me what you got. I'll be...
Yeah, I get you. And so does they probably. I don't have enough money to get
done.
tech.
You know how to find me.
Yeah. Ducky, shut up. You've had some stuff going on. I get it. Yeah, I told Jack uh, last night because I didn't think, and he knew something had been going on with somebody, but he didn't know what it was, or he didn't remember, and so I told him. Yeah, but considering the lifespan, what people with what their lifespan used to be like, that's freaking awesome. I mean, they used to die by like 20 years old, I think it was, back in the day. Yeah. Well, you came on, you just didn't come on to talk. I ran over one of the damn KKK leaders. They don't call them KKK or anything like that anymore. They call it in the game. They call it like Dixie Mafia, Southern Union. You know. Whee! I love being able to just drive through fields and wreck shit. You're excused. I'm playing Mafia 3. Oh yeah, I've got two different ones. I've got a sim save file where I cheated and used the motherload to get money, and then I've got one where I turned once I got the motherload to the level I wanted, I turned the cheats back off, and then I started a different game where I'm not using any cheats at all. And I started it while I was streaming, so I've only played about an hour of it. But during that hour, I created the sim, and then I created a small 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom bungalow, and decorated it, put things in, and like I explained to people, even though it meant my funds were really low, getting certain appliances and certain things is worth it in the beginning, especially in the beginning of the game, like getting a toilet that doesn't break, or getting the highest bed that you can that's a single, because when you're building a small bungalow to expand later, you're not going to be getting a double bed, stuff like that.
Southern Union won't be bothering your people anytime soon. I think they saw the light.
You whooped their asses is what you're saying. Thank you.
He would have
Thank
looked better
Laverne
if
for all
that
he's
shirt
trying to
was
do around here.
From your mouth to God's ear.
like
Go in
blue
peace,
or
Mr.
green
Not
instead
like
of that bright ass red. But if they ever do make another Mafia game, I hope it's set in the 70s in Vegas, and you get to use a little bit more of a customization of not only the character but the clothing. Because if they can do it in Far Cry, for Christ's sake, now, give at least a little bit more customization, they can do it in Mafia. But the next Mafia game is going to be a long time coming. I'll probably be well into my 40s by the time it comes around, if it ever does. God, it's hard to imagine me sitting. I told Jack, I was like, with the way my brain works, it's really hard to imagine me, sitting here at like 60 or 70 years old, playing video games. But I know that that's probably my future, part of it anyway. Because I don't I don't plan on having children unless I'm like a step parent. And at this age, most of the kids are in their teens or older now. You know, it's very rare that I would end up with a guy or a girl. I prefer men, but that would have a really young child at this age. You know, they're usually at least 8. You know, so it's like, okay. Alright, so I got all of the wiretaps going, but for some reason, I guess I picked up all of the uh, stuff inside the wiretap area. Like, this is the main street of town. It's got one big main street that runs through town, and then a bunch of little side streets, and then nothing but fields for miles around it. But unfortunately, the only towns that are like this in America anymore are in the Midwest and usually within tornado areas. Yeah, or really, really up in the middle of nowhere with lots of snow. And they're also not always the best places for people like me to live, so, you know, making racist, bigoted type places. Internet connection quality is not currently sufficient to broadcast gameplay, so you're probably seeing a blue screen right now. I'm sorry. I really don't know what that looks like from my point of view.
You're with that Laveau, right? Slim's pissant buddies in the department are planning
Okay.
to dump a whole mess of documents for the man.
Let me guess. Documents
Yeah,
that could
oh
help send
good,
Slim
okay.
up the river.
Bobby, my husband, worked records at the department. When Slim went up, Bobby overheard one of the deputies, Tupelo, talking about burning all kinds of shit. Records of the fucked up shit the department's been getting up to. Tupelo found out Bobby knew. Then he killed him. He was a good man.
Where's Tupelo now?
Landry's.
Oh, good,
He knows
okay.
the Southern Union boss.
You stay safe. I'll get justice for Bobby.
Oh, good,
Ain't
okay.
no good for no justice, son.
Okay. Good, good. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. See, like I said, I don't really watch streaming myself, so I didn't know any of that. So thank you for letting me know. Yeah, because normally I say, hold on, guys. You know, I'll either say mid if it's you or Jack if it's Jack or whatever. You know, sent me a message and then I go and check. And that's usually when the blue screen happens, is because I leave the game. And then, you know, but I was like, because I have some people's real names, you know, and so I wasn't sure, because yours doesn't give your last name, but Jack's does. Yeah. So, was not sure. Now I can be rest assured that that nothing bad's gonna happen to anybody. Oh, I blew Kitty's mind because she was talking. No, Jack was talking about an anime or something, I think. And he was talking about how this guy was big and athletic, and I'm like, ooh, just the way I like him. And she's like, did you really just say that? I'm like, yeah. And then I explained him one of those rare trans people that confuse people because, you know, I started out female and you know, decided to transition over to male, and I'm still dating men. And a lot of people can't quite wrap their heads around it until I explain that women, especially in relationships, are treated differently than men are in relationships. And that I didn't want to be treated like a girl. I've dated plenty of guys, before I started transitioning or telling anybody, truthfully. And most of the time I couldn't keep a boyfriend or anybody dating me because I was too masculine for them as a female. Because I technically wasn't. And so it was a huge thing. Now I'm just a piggy bastard. No, I really am. I refuse to lower my standards or think of sex as love. And I want a relationship. I want something that doesn't rely on a sexual thing to exist. A lot of people, it just I read it in a story, and and you know
Nothing to see out there.
people, a lot of people call it old fashioned or whatever, but look at the divorce rate in America, let alone the world in general. Look at how many babies are born whose parents don't stay together. Not just divorce, I'm just in general. Look how much disease and shit spreads today. And I don't know. I'm good. I don't want that. My Aunt Teresa dated a handful of people before she met her husband, and they got married when I was, I think, in the single digits, maybe barely into the double digits of age, and they're still together. And they had 2 children, and both of them are well-adjusted, all that. So, that's a brutal takedown. Sorry if that was a little gory for you, but I unfortunately do not have control over how gory the brutal takedowns are. Though I kind of wish I did. Because they are just, like, over the top sometimes.
Find a cover.
Well, now where'd he go?
Keep an eye out.
He's
Still might be here.
Yeah.
On the bright side, I get to clean my shorts.
Yeah. I know how that feels, getting used to a gap being there and then it not being there anymore. Because when I was a kid, I lost a tooth. Yeah, it does feel weird.
Guys, he ain't here.
Yeah, unfortunately I have Comcast, and it's not the lowest tier, but it's a low tier Comcast, and
We will find you, cocksucker.
they
Believe that.
semi have upgraded the stuff in the area, but they charge way too damn much.
Not there.
Because
Can't be, huh?
we pay $60 something for, I think it's like
I got one. I got
15 15 megabytes a second or gigabytes a second. And yeah. And there's no other options. Add-ons to what? I got the base game and the digital deluxe upgrade.
How you doing, buddy?
And I got it all for like $18. Because it was on... No, not yet. I'll get them slowly a little bit at a time. Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do stuff. Yeah, they cost a lot.
Huh?
Yeah, you also end up burning your house down if you forget to empty the
Starting
lint
to
trap
think
properly.
I ain't alone here.
Okay. Because I actually, on the PC, because my mom will share her account sometimes with me, so I can play the fully done one on the computer. Of course, this is months ago
You
now.
was goddamn well eyeballing me, nigga. Think I didn't see you? The heck was that?
Yeah.
You think this gonna be easy? We the police, boy!
You're gonna tell me where the documents are, Tupelo.
They're burning the shit out the old Miller farm. You already too late.
Fucking pigs.
I'm not laughing at the pigs part, because I respect my local law enforcement and everything. No, it's, you know... Oh, okay. Yeah, the main character said fucking pigs and like then killed the cop, but I don't mind cops. So, but I laughed because of the whole context of I dropped a grenade because I accidentally hit another button while I was trying to turn the radio off. It's okay. Though I did forget how slow the trucks are in this game. It won't let me climb up there. You suck. Not what I meant to do. Oh, really? There we go.
Available units, suspicious individual on foot. Suspect described as colored male, 25, above average height. Back up en route.
Yeah, I'm going V. The cops in this parish are corrupt and bigoted.
They gonna call me a hit? Ain't many of us left.
I think I see the suspect.
It's a goddamn massacre! Take cover!
Come on, pop up again, you little weasel. Damn.
Shit! Need more ammo! Help over here! This is a goddamn massacre!
It's definitely something there, good old boy. He's like, it's a goddamn massacre.
Goddamn massacre! Need to get behind something! We gotta box him in!
I'm taking the lead. I think I see the suspect.
Brutal takedown.
Oh, shit! All set to shoot! Ah! There he is!
Brutal takedown. So not fair that they can continue to cause damage. Oh, they can continue to shoot at me even while I'm in the middle of a takedown and I can't defend myself when they do that. Doesn't help that I think that was a high-powered rifle that guy's using too. There we go. And now I get to try to outrun deputies again.
Suspect still at large. Additional units responded. Suspect described as colored male, 25, above average height.
I talked to my dentist. Ask him how his kids are doing, stuff like that. I talk to everybody.
All unit search is called off. Repeat, abandoned search. Return to patrol.
Yeah. Trap game strong. That is so not right. Successfully triggered 10 vehicle traps. Okay. But that's for the context of nowadays, trap game strong is not necessarily a great name for a trophy. Ducky? Do you need to go outside? Yeah? Okay. Give me a second. Come on. Thank you. Stupid. Shouldn't have to break through the fence. You know? You guys have to go outside, huh? Okay. Okay. Sit. 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 Chill. Chill. Let me finish what I'm doing.
LeBeau, the sheriff's department was trying to burn up his paper trail.
And you stopped him.
If you can send somebody over, it's all stashed in a truck behind the body shop.
One of the boys are on their way. Thanks, Lincoln.
Okay. Talk to the voice. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah. It looks like a pink Cadillac. That's awesome. Doesn't it look like an old school pink Cadillac? That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go and let the dogs out. Go on. Because otherwise they're gonna continue to dance. And bug me. Oh man, last night was so horrible. The gas wouldn't stop, and the gas wouldn't stop, and the gas wouldn't stop until finally, and it was just the cramping. I wasn't passing a whole lot of actual gas. Until I got on my stomach and I put my hand in kind of like a palm strike fashion, where my thumb is curled against the side of my palm and my fingers are curled back, and pressed on the hernia to make sure that it wouldn't, uh, poke out while I was on my belly. And I laid like that for about half hour or so, and then it finally stopped. But laying on my stomach for that long, especially with something pressed firmly, not pressed like deeply in, but firmly against my hernia, hurts the area. So now I'm a little sensitive today. Come on, Ducky, hurry up and go potty. But just like I got, the ice cream that I got. Normally I'd get like chocolate peanut butter ice cream or whatever. But since I can't have chocolate until the 19th, which I believe is my dentist appointment day actually, I got the Ben & Jerry's strawberry cheesecake. Yeah. Sacrificial thing I gave up because of the prayer I made. Here you go. Come on. There you go. Am I back? Can you hear me again? Oi. Okay. Okay. Because, like, my headset sometimes will disconnect when I'm in the back of the house. So, I'm not hungry. I'm most likely thirsty. The new theory, because it used to be 8-ounce glasses a day for water, right? The new theory, which I'm not going to follow because, oh my god, I'd be drinking like a gallon of water a day, is you're supposed to take your weight, divide it in half, and that's how much water you're supposed to drink per day. Well, I weigh about 350 pounds, okay, rounding up. That's 150 ounces. That's about a little over 4 liters of water, which is a gallon of water. That ain't happening. It isn't. I'm lucky if I drink a liter or 2 a day. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, okay? I have never been actually dehydrated since I've been an adult. Because one of the indications of dehydration is that your urine gets really dark yellow and smelly. That has never happened to me since I've been an adult. Yeah, I get heat stroke, but heat stroke isn't dehydration. Heat stroke's about the fact that your body can't cool its core down fast enough. I have clinical heat stroke on my medical record. And it has nothing to do with my weight because I used to get overheated when I was a kid, and I used to be skinny mini when before I was 10 years old. Uh, I can get heat stroke while swimming in the pool. It's mainly because I get really, really sunburnt. But my mom is lucky because, well, back when she was younger and I spent a lot of time in the pool, she'd tan. She really wouldn't burn. I burn. I burn bad. Yeah, I've stopped swimming during certain times of the day. Like I go in the late afternoon, early evening when the sun hasn't quite set, but it's not over the pool area here anymore. And so about in the middle of summer, about 6, 7 o'clock at night, because the out here the sun doesn't set until like 9 o'clock in the summertime, and I don't have to wear sunscreen if I go out at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then I can swim for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then I can go and sit in the jacuzzi, and then I can come home. In fact, I got a whole new swim set because the old set that I had, the shorts were way too big, and the shirt was made out of like mesh material that they use for like um basketball shirts and stuff, where it's just not, it doesn't have a whole lot of give. So I got this new one that's made out of like, it looks like spandex or lycra, so it's stretchy, um, and it's built like a t-shirt, and it's bright blue. Blue's my favorite color. And then I got a smaller set of swim trunks that are the main body is bright neon green, but it's plaid, so it's got blue plaid in it. So it matches. It looks, and I think it looks good. So, I discovered this new app that I'm kind of in love with. It's called Choices. Have you heard of it? It's like interactive storytelling. So like the one I'm doing right now is called a high school story or something like that, and you choose male or female. You choose what you look like. You choose your hairstyle, that kind of thing. Not super. It's not like in depth like The Sims, but it's pretty decent. And then of course you can name your character whatever you want, and then you play throughout the story, and you make the decisions for the character. And depending on how you make the decisions and how you play the game depends on what yearbook photos make it in, how your friendships or romances work and stuff like that. And it's really interesting. It's almost like playing it's like playing a choose your own adventure novel. And I used to really love those as a kid. And so I've been having fun. The only drawback is the way that they've created the app. You either have to spend days doing the first chapter, because the first chapter doesn't cost any keys or anything to do. So you either have to. Why is that there? What is that? Okay, it's just weird. Okay. But you either spend days doing first chapters of things that you're not interested in to earn diamonds that help you make certain choices or whatever in the game, or you have to spend days building up diamonds by doing the gift system. It's like every 2 hours you can earn another diamond, and some of the stuff costs like. I like it. I don't like the way that they've. Right, I don't like the diamonds part, but I'm patient enough to wait and just continue to go in and do the gifts, or just play with the first. I did like 3, because there was 3 different ones that I thought seemed interesting. The story anyway seemed like it'd be interesting, and so I played the first chapter, and I'm like, you don't get to choose anything but a girl. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. You know, I don't want to play a girl. I mean, yeah, it's romances and stuff, but Jesus Christ. In the high school one, I'm playing a dude who's gay. Because they give you that option.
Hey,
depending on how
thanks to
you play the
Sam
game.
Beaumont's staying right where it's supposed to be. In a safe.
And I'm like,
You checking on
so
those
I
folks?
earned like 3
Irma,
diamonds
the
by doing
preacher,
the first 3 chapters of those ones, and
Irma
then I
and Mina
took them off
left
my
town
favorites
under
because
the
I'm not going
rules
to
of protection.
continue.
Jeremiah?
I just
Still
don't like the
there.
storyline enough.
Still
One of
kicking.
them is the last one
You
I did
did
is this
good.
girl
Oh,
and her
Roxy sends her best.
siblings
Says
and
you owe her a
cousins are
letter.
going to be
You
earning
two
$100 million
corresponding?
apiece,
Ah,
but she found out
that's,
that her grandmother put like
that's my cutest split.
rules,
I catch you
like
on the
her
inside,
sister
boy.
has to have a job on the cruise ship, um, while your character has to get married at the end of the summer, and you find out your fiance's been cheating on you, and he's a narcissistic, emotionally abusive asshole because he shows up on the cruise after you find him cheating on you, assuming everything's going to be fine as long as he says he's sorry, and then when you won't take him back, he basically says, "Well, you have all these quirks and stuff like that. Nobody else is ever going to understand or love you." That's a narcissistic, abusive asshole. And then you're supposed to spend the summer on this cruise ship finding a new person to get married to at the end of the cruise. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then there's other ones that I did, but like I oh right the one there was this one where you again are only allowed to play a female, and um you meet a prince who's out on his bachelor party because he has to do this thing where he has to get married, but he doesn't know who he's marrying because there's this big contest. It's kind of like Bachelor for royalty, I guess. And one of his friends really liked your attitude and everything, and really liked how his friend, the prince, looked at you. So he decided to sponsor you since he doesn't have a sister. And you're supposed to travel to this small little country and win the prince's heart. I'm like, what if the girl is a lesbian? What if you want to play a gay dude? What if you wanted to, and I'm not dissing it, it's just not for me. I'm like, so I'm just like, fuck it. So I played through the first chapter and then stopped. And at the end of each chapter, you get a opportunity to watch an ad to earn a diamond. So it wasn't completely wasted. I was able to go and see if these were even something that I wanted to try, and it wasn't.
You, sir, are the proud papa of a weed harvest.
Take that shit in.
Take that shit in.
I would totally love this. Do you know how much? Do you know if I kept all of the weed in this one little crop here for myself, it would take me years, maybe even a decade to smoke it all. Because I smoke maybe an ounce a year. And from one plant you can get like a lot. You can get a lot of ounces of pot from just one plant. So yeah, this is ditch weed. It's not that great. Demand average. Anything high demand? Yes. Okay. But it's controlled by the enemy. So I need to choose one that's not controlled by the enemy. That'll give me the most profit. So this one. Yeah. I gotta plant some more, and then that's right. I gotta earn my way up to being able to get the upgraded stuff. Yep, requires level 2, can't do that.
Shit, you moved all that shit? Well, come on by so we can talk.
He's gonna tell
Oh,
me where
your
some of the
money
other
put right
plants
back
and
into the
stuff are.
business. Now,
And then I
I
can
got a
create
line
my
on
own
another
strains
strain
and
if you're interested.
cultivate
Ruderalis. Nothing
a
fancy,
badass
but it'll curl your
weed
toes.
by
As long as it
hybrid
gets the
by
job
doing
done.
hybrids.
No doubt.
Uh,
And I figure a motivated, ex-enlisted man like
I
yourself
played
got
this
some
to
bright
death.
ideas for acquiring and cultivating it.
Right on, I hear you. Let me see what I can do.
Because there's certain ones that have higher THC, there's certain ones that have higher other things, and you can breed them for
Like I said, keep an eye
like
out for Ruderalis. Won't make us a fortune, but folks will smoke it.
how much crop you get, how hardy the plant is, you know, shit like that. You know what? No. As much as it was cool to get the pink Cadillac, because I needed a car and I didn't want to wait, I'm gonna have my guy deliver one.
I'm in the bayou and I need transportation.
I like the Smith Moray because for me, the way I move, the way I drive in the game, it's got the best handling. It's got decent speed without being too much. You know, it's got, you know, so I just constantly drive it.
That's a big help.
And what's really cool is you can actually customize these cars. I just haven't bothered right now. Well, no, you can choose like new colors, put decals on them, upgrade the suspension and the acceleration and all that stuff. But the only reason you really need to do that is for the races. That's like a side quest thing, and because most of the time the base cars are great for the rest of the stuff you gotta do in the game. And in some cases, upgrading them makes them handle like shit. I totally went the wrong direction. It's okay. You know what I could probably try to do? I'm gonna go this way for a second. Turn around. There's a jump here. Yeah! There goes my hood. It's because I ran into that palm tree. So they made an official announcement. Borderlands 3 is coming out. I am stoked because, especially since they got the writer for the original one to come back to write this one. I'm hoping that it turns out way better than frickin' pre-sequel, because pre-sequel sucked. To me, anyway. Pre-sequel. I don't understand why they did the pre-sequel to begin with. I truthfully don't. It was one of those titles that we didn't really need it. We didn't need to know how Jack became a megalomaniac asshole. You know, we didn't need to know how he became the asshole that he became.
Hey, over here!
Oh, really?
I got no move here. Fuck. This is the
Fuck.
way you die.
I don't know. They just did. I was carrying the body down to the water, and suddenly they saw me.
Yeah, you like that? Huh?
Really? Okay, fuck you, and the horse you rode in on. And they act like they're wearing fucking Teflon armor. Fucking hate that. Because body armor, you know, attack vests existed, yeah. But actual real body armor, like the Teflon stuff that our guys wear today, did not exist back then. All they had was fucking steel plates and a vest that was about like 100 pounds. And only the military wore it. I mean, yeah, your character can buy tac vests, so assuming, you know, the bad guys can buy them too, but like, fuck. 3-4 hits in the chest, you're dead. Doesn't matter if you're wearing a tac vest or not. And Fringe, the show that I like to watch, is one of the few shows that actually deals with tac vests in a realistic fashion. I think NCIS does as well. But like, if you get shot even once wearing one of them things in the chest, you can't fucking breathe. You ain't doing shit. You sure as hell not continuing to Tommy gun at somebody. I don't care how... It stops the bullet from piercing into your chest. It does not stop the concussive damage. You know, the brute force damage. And it also, and most times, the vests won't stop a 50 caliber bullet. It depends on how far away it's being shot at you, I would guess. But because distance does factor into how fast the bullet hits and how hard and all that stuff. But 50 calibers were designed to go through tanks, so I know a lot about guns without ever actually having shot a real one. BB gun, yeah. Pellet gun, yeah. Actual gun, no, not so much. Though a friend of mine had one of those pump action, you know, pump airsoft BB guns, where you had to pump it was like a shotgun almost. And you had to pump the air into the chamber yourself before firing. And I pumped that sucker so hard that I actually shot a BB pellet through one of those little orange wrestling guys when we were kids. It actually left a hole. And it was just a little copper BB. I'm like, yeah, that could have done some serious damage if a person got hit with it. And then my aunt used to, yeah, and then my aunt used to keep a CO2 BB cartridge gun to shoot at wildlife when she lived out in the country. Because well, they had chickens. And if she didn't go out there and stop the coyotes from coming in and trying to eat the chickens, they wouldn't have any chickens or eggs, you know. So, though after one time she couldn't ever get me to go and get the eggs out. Yeah, she had a crazy chicken. Like literally, the chicken was insane. They found out she was killing her own young. She was crazy. But she would peck and attack anybody who came into the chicken coop. And since I was a guest and not family, a family, but like not living there full time, um, when I told her I wasn't gonna deal with that anymore, she like gave up. It was hard enough that I went from family life at home, where they didn't force my religion down my throat, to having to go to Sunday service with my aunt until I got to my late teens, and then she let me decide myself. But until then, she forced me every Sunday to go to church with her and her family. You know. No, the couple of youth service things that I went to with my cousin, because she got like baptized and everything, and confirmation, were cool. Don't get me wrong, I met some really great people, but I wasn't into the whole church thing, because church for me is a bunch of people that smile at you and then stab you in the back and talk shit. Because that's been my experience with church, for the most part. You know, a lot of people saying, "Oh, you know, God bless you, we'll help you when we can," and then they never show up. And then of course there's the Catholic Church, and you know, don't even get me started. I really do not like the Catholic Church. I don't hate Catholics. I just don't like the church and the way that they do things. Anyway, so, but yeah, it just one time was actually the best experience I've ever had with anything church, and that was they got this local Christian band to come, rock band, to come and play for the youth group, and that was the day I did the worst thing to my ankle. I right-angled it, 90 degrees, like literally, because I hit the side of a hole in the church's yard
Take a look around.
while we were doing
Crop's growing as fast as it can.
water balloons, and
That right
fucked
there
up
is
my
an
leg,
itty-bitty plant,
and
but he's growing.
so I couldn't participate as much. And the leader of the rock group came, and we switched friendship bracelets. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he actually put the one that I had for him on the neck of his guitar, where his the knobs are for the different strings. It was really cool. Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to come and see me. He didn't have to be nice to me. He didn't have to do any of that. But he was. Which is basically the good Christian thing he did. But it was the only good thing that I had experienced church-wise other than family. So I understand why people go to church. I understand why anthropological concepts of church and religion and all that stuff. It helps people be less afraid of dying. It helps people have a sense of community and stuff to be part of a church group. It's just, I've never been a religious person. Well, no. My mom encouraged me to, read up on religions and stuff, and all religions or philosophies since like practically the beginning of man have held all the same tenets as Christianity. Be good to each other, help each other out when you can, that kind of thing. You can find it in Taoism, Buddhism, you can find it everywhere. And Buddhism is not religion, it's a philosophy, but Buddha was alive well before the birth of Christ. And so I just follow the basic tenets. I'm nice to people, try to do good things, help charities, financially when I can, stuff like that. And even on food stamps, a man or a woman, sometimes when they come up to me and they ask me if I can help them get some food, I verify that they actually want food. And then I will sometimes grab them and take them in with me to the grocery store, and I will use my food stamps to buy them some sandwiches or something. You know, so I do what I can when I can and how I can. I just don't brag about it. I don't talk about it on Facebook, you know, or anything like that. The only reason I'm telling you is because it's in context of everything else I'm talking about. You know, and that's the way I was raised. You know, my grandfather would help, especially family, but he would help people when he could, how he could. He was such a generous. My grandparents were such generous souls that they would practically give the shirt off their back if somebody needed help. You know, my uncle, my grandmother's brother, owed my grandfather a lot of money. And instead of being a dick, because my grandfather could have been a dick, he could have said, "No, you're going to pay me back the money you owe me." He accepted a boat that wasn't even worth as much as the value of what was owed as payment. And then he ended up turning around and donating that to the local pick and pull. You know, it's a car salvage business. He ended up donating that as a tax write-off because he never used it, because he wasn't actually ready for fishing. You know, stuff like that. And I learned all of those lessons from my mom and my grandparents. Like I tell Jack and Mary, those are the two friends that I have the most, that I buy, especially that I buy stuff for. I tell them, I get this stuff for you not because I expect anything back, but because this stuff makes me think of you. It makes me feel good to get you. It's not about having more money. It's not about bragging rights or anything like that. No, it's just because it makes me feel good to get it for you. I do, like with Mary, I do try to keep it in context, though. I don't get, you know, the only time I get super, what I call big ticket items, stuff that's over $20, is for, like, birthdays and Christmas. You know. But Mary actually yelled at me the other day. She's like, "Stop buying me things." I'm like, "It's only a $12 item. It's not that big a deal." She's like, "Oh." Like, yeah. And then I had to explain to her my rule, which is, like, big ticket items, you know, stuff that's over $20 is only for birthdays and Christmas. I think I'm going to try to get an Apple Watch, though. Well, no. I found out that you can link the Apple Watch to Pokemon Go to help with tracking your steps and stuff better. And so I figure I'll do that. And plus, there's other factors. But if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get used. I'm not gonna get the latest one. And it's probably not gonna be until next year, because I'll probably be using what little tax return I get next year. That'll be the last time I'll get a tax return, because you know, because I worked for the first couple months of this year. So I gotta remember that when I get Bert's kickback, I gotta call the concierge, I don't know how to pronounce that fucking word, and have her take the money. And then I gotta work on Vito's stuff, because I want to make it, before I get too far into the game, I want to make it so that I can call her to pick up my kickback, so I don't have to do this run again. Yeah. Sorry. my attention is divided, and so yeah. Yeah, this game's going much faster
Enjoy your
and
cuts.
feels much easier now that I know what I'm doing, where I'm going, you know, compared to before.
Send someone to Point Verdun to pick up my cash.
Hold your horses. I'll get to you.
Your money's always safer with me.
Better
Sheriff.
not lose this.
On my way. Call me if you need me.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Vito wants me to do these little blue specks. So I can do that. And then I can work on getting one of the other areas. Let's see. Talfek Harbor, no. Downtown would probably be my next target, because Vito, see, I always, and I learned this with the last one, I always divide the map evenly between my underbosses. So Vito gets River Row, Downtown, and the French Ward, and then Bert gets Point Verdun, Tickfall Harbor, and South Downs. And then Cassandra gets Delray Hollow, Barclay Mills, and Frisco Fields. So they each get 3. Nobody runs the bayou. And they all end up happy. And then I actually played both endings last time I played the game, because you can save right before you make the decision. And you actually, the city ends up better off if you stay as the underboss, or as not the underboss, if you stay as the ultimate mafia boss for the city. If you leave, like the priest wants you to, if you give it all up after you get your revenge from Marcano, Cassandra ends up ultimately taking over, and she ends up the whole town, the whole city ends up worse off, because she stops caring about the people, and she starts caring more about the money and the power. Yeah. And the main character, Lincoln Clay, may be capable of being a sociopath, but he's not. What he is a kid who grew up on the streets in an orphanage before he was taken up by a mafia underboss and adopted into his family. And so he grew up running jobs for Sammy, along with Sammy's actual birth child. And what the hell? No, not use, not about use. It's had me get off the freeway and then had me get back on the freeway, because the guy's underneath the freeway. Really? I have to interrogate this asshole. Yeah, I bet.
You're gonna
Yeah.
tell me where I can find the councilman. Lucky's supposed to be playing cards here. You run with me now.
As my mom has repeatedly told me over the years, as we get older, pain becomes a fact of life. I keep telling people this. All these super health food nuts. I'm like, it's one thing to eat right and keep in shape and stuff like that because you want to, because because it does help, at least a little bit. But it's not the holy grail. You're not gonna fucking live forever, and because nobody gets out of life alive at the end. Because, and people don't realize this, our cells start to deteriorate right around the time we're about 30. A little bit at a time. And what's funny is that oxygen, actual oxygen, which we breathe, mixture of, is part of the culprit for why that happens. Yeah, oxygen is actually carcinogenic. Pure oxygen. We don't breathe pure oxygen. We breathe mostly carbon monoxide, nitrogen, and oxygen mixed together. If we were to breathe pure oxygen, we would die. Like, it's hardcore. We would fucking die. It's actually really funny how it works. Well, sort of. Like, not funny, haha. Really?
This is the way you die! Hey! Hey!
Brutal takedown.
Gonna put you down, son. Warming him up!
Really? Come on. I'm out of healing items.
Take your whooping like a man.
So I have to hide every once in a while to keep myself from dying. You have to pick them up out of medical chests so you can buy them, and I forgot to buy them.
Shit. Slip behind him. Cover me while I reload.
Might as well loot the whole place while I'm here. Well, no, you can take the money that was put up for the poker game, and then you can take and then you can also, like,
It's only a matter of time till I find you.
like I grabbed the fuses, and then of course you can grab the money off the bodies. You don't get nearly as much money as I wish you did for it, but hey, every little bit counts in the end. There we go. And I gotta go report to Vito that I killed this, as he puts him, this cocksucker. All of the people that I'm killing are people that led to the death of his best friend. And it's a way of wrapping up what happened in Mafia 2, which I didn't get to finish. The driving in that game was crazy. The streets were not very drivable, and so it made it damn near impossible to get away from the bad guys or the cops. You know, storyline was great. I liked I liked playing as Vito and everything, but I just couldn't handle the fucking gameplay itself. Getting tired? Okay. Yeah, I'll be up for a while tonight because I took that nap. But after I got up, you know, I was up, you know, fairly late last night because of the pain, and then grocery shopping trip. Oh, just a grocery shopping trip. I did over 1,000 steps between the actual grocery shopping and then going up and down the stairs into the house, everything. Yeah, and so like I was tired. By the time I was able to actually sit down and rest and everything, I ate, and then I had ice cream, and then it wasn't the sugar, because that does not feel like a sugar thing. I took a hit of pot, and then I was sitting down and relaxing, and then suddenly I couldn't keep my eyes open. And I was like, alright, Mom, I gotta go to bed.
Thanks for taking care of that thing. I might have another job for you later.
Okay, so I did that. Apparently that's all I needed to do for him this time. So I should probably go steal a car for Burke. So I'm gonna go over here. I gotta get 3 of these cars and deliver it to Burke. Burke's father was a member of the Irish National group. I don't know how much you know about world politics history, but the Irish National group they're a bunch of Irishmen and women who decided that they did not want to be treated like shit or persecuted anymore by the British for their religion, because Britain conquered Ireland way back in the day, and then they forcefully converted the Irish to, I think it's Protestant or Catholic. I can't remember which. I'd have to look it up again. Anyway, they basically made them Church of England and everything, and there was harsh punishments if you didn't follow the Church of England and stuff like that back in the day. And so the Irish Nationals decided to rise up against their oppressor, and they started doing car bombs and assassinating political targets, and basically doing everything terrorists do. And so Burke's father came to America, and Burke's this task is the IRA, Irish something or other, something. IRA is the name of the organization. Approached him to get some cars that they can then export, I guess, back to Ireland and use in bombings and stuff like that without being caught, because the VIN numbers will be filed down and all that shinola. I don't think they conquered all of Ireland. I think it was just Northern Ireland, actually. I'm thinking about it. But, like I said, I'd have to look it up again. It's been a long time, because I haven't heard anything about the IRA or Ireland in that fashion since the 80s. So, I don't know how it was resolved. And I was like a little kid in the 80s. So. But anyway, I gotta steal this car and take it back to Burke. And I, well, technically I have still three of the same type of car. Like, same make, model, and color. You know, I used to suck at gaming. Oh yeah. I played on different consoles casually, of course, growing up, Nintendo, SNES, Sega Genesis. I was gonna say Super Genesis. Sega Genesis, stuff like that, but I didn't get actually into gaming until Xbox 360, because I started taking care of my grandfather. And so in the beginning I really sucked. And over the years, because I've put so much fucking energy into it and time, I've gotten fairly good. Not epic. I'm not like one of those people that could go and play esports or anything, but I've gotten pretty good.
Hurry up.
Yeah, because the wedding and stuff, right? Okay.
I need resupply and point for done.
I'll head your way now.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you want here?
Yeah, games, Netflix, whatever.
Use it.
Okay.
In good health. I'm heading out.
Yeah. The only time Jack and I haven't talked every day is either because I'm not feeling, and I mean not talked at all is either because one of both of us are not feeling too great, or because he lost internet. Because there's been a couple of times where he's him and his mom haven't been able to pay the bill right away. So, and that's the only. Oh, and if he doesn't do his yearly his PS Plus sometimes. But that hasn't happened in a while now. So. Right, I wouldn't hold it against you anyway. I'm not that kind of person. I might get worried and go, hey, are you be okay? And then you would say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just busy. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Thank you.
What are you doing? I'm calling the police.
I need the law off my ass and point for done.
Right away.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you have a good visit. Well, yeah. Do they live in, like, Toronto or something? Okay. That's where they speak French, right? Okay. 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 The first Canadians I ever met, and this was in high school, they were like exchange students or whatever. They were visiting, not necessarily exchange students, were people from Quebec. And they were pretty nice. Though their accents were very thick. Okay.
How's she cutting?
The reason why I keep going in that out of that office when I deliver cars so that my car will show back up. Okay. Yeah, I was able to, in The Sims, I was able to completely build the bungalow and put it, build it from the ground up, like quite literally, and decorate the inside the way I wanted to put all the lights in that I would want. The only thing is that because I was building it instead of just redecorating something that was already built, is that I didn't get the top of the line appliances in the kitchen that I normally get, or anything like that. I got some, but not all of the ones that I would want. And the house is a little bit smaller than I normally would have built, because normally I do like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom type of setup. Because I usually end up adopting a kid or something like that. I built my own starter house, basically. I like the building and decorating stuff. I wanted to be an interior designer for a little while. When I was in my early 20s, my grandmother encouraged me because I'm actually really good at it. But especially I'm especially good at like mid-century modern type stuff, and but this was back when the frickin' hold on, I gotta look. I gotta steal more. Okay, no. This is back when HGTV really took off. And so everybody and their sister wanted to be an interior designer or a flipper or whatever. And so I would have ended up, my grandparents were going to help me, but I would have ended up being $22,000 in debt and no guarantee of getting,
The Irish are grateful to not have the butcher stuck in the goddamn streets.
So I ultimately said thank you to my grandparents, but no thank you. That I didn't want to put myself in that kind of a situation. Or them. And did something else. I ended up becoming a security guard and was pretty decent at it. And then, shit happens. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. wow. Yeah, you're a freshman. Wow. Yeah. hmm Yeah, they basically they artificially tightened your ligaments. Huh. Yeah.
You sure Marcano ain't gonna get bent out of shape about us selling
Yeah.
guns in this city?
Last time I checked, this land down here don't belong to him. It belongs to us.
Just saying. Catch his villages if you drop the hammer.
A lot of people drop routes this time of year. Not a one of them has ever succeeded. Besides, after that shit with Richie, we don't have much
Yeah.
choice. Money's dried up, and this is all we got left. Talk to your cousin?
Him and my nephew both. They're spreading word, letting folks know if they want guns, they need to come to us. Heard some fellas from Little Rock are coming down. Want as many shotguns
Yeah.
as we can sell.
See, ain't no cause to fret about any of this. Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going.
Hey, dead body over here!
Ducking down!
Yeah.
Get where he can't see you come. Sweet baby Jesus. Let's see what you got, nigga.
I got this shit! All y'all, get over here!
Can't hide from me. On the bright side, I get to clean the shorts now. Should have run when you had the chance.
Yeah. It's kind of like how my mom's taking her time with stuff because with her back because the only ultimate thing that they can do to help her is to fuse her spine. And unfortunately, that would make it so that she couldn't really bend at all. Yeah. And Yeah. Truthfully, because I never really truly loved any of my jobs, working is not all it's cracked up to be. Yeah, it's kind of like Jack and his knees and stuff, and his sister thinking that he's faking it just because he's lazy. And I'm like, he may be a little bit lazy, and he admits that he is, but, he's not faking anything. No, when Jack and I really talk about stuff, like doing his chores and stuff like that, he will admit that, he's a little lazy. I'm a little lazy. Everybody's a little bit lazy. I've never known anybody who was, go, 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 go constantly unless they were on something. But I can hear his fucking joints pop. There's something wrong. And I get on him about his weight, but not because just because he's fat, but because I know that his weight doesn't help with what's going on with his joints. From personal experience. So I'm trying to encourage him to lose weight because it'll help prolong him from getting knee surgeries and back surgeries and all that other stuff that's going to end up happening to him later in life. I didn't, yeah. Right.
Welcome, brother.
I understand. It's all the things that same with me. No, I will. Yeah, because they realize that they've been giving you so much shit, and now they're having to deal with reality themselves. It's just like I was date raped by a woman, which sounds really, men are made fun of for that all the time. But this is before I started transitioning or anything. Hell, I'm not, to this day, I'm not even very sexually experienced, but, intellectually, yes. Actual experience, not so much. And it was just after my 21st birthday, my friend Toby and some of his acquaintances, took me out to this nightclub bar out in Vallejo, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours ish away from here. And the name of the bar is actually Hole in the Wall. That's the actual name of the bar. And it was a pretty decent place. I'm not very, I've never been much of a drinker socially or otherwise. And so I went, and they bought me drinks. My favorite's Fuzzy Needles. And then an acquaintance of the acquaintance of Toby's decided that she wanted me to sleep with her. And so she decided to pretend that another friend of another acquaintance of theirs was hitting on her and all that stuff to get my interest. And so I pretended to be interested in her, even kissing her a couple of times and stuff to help with deterring, making the other person back off. and I guess she got the wrong idea or thought that I was suddenly into her or whatever, and uh, kept hitting on me, kept playing around and shit, and I told her no, and she wouldn't. She wouldn't. Well, like, to get back to what I was doing with it is when I finally got around to telling people uh what happened and everything, uh hold on, I'm trying to. Once I got around to telling people what happened, my friend Toby didn't believe me because his idea of date rape or rape in general was violent. That if it wasn't violent, if you eventually gave in or whatever, then it wasn't rape. And until it happened to him. He got, this is way after he had moved to uh, downtown or Florida, I can't remember which. He had moved away, and he finally got around to hold on. He finally got around to hanging out with some other gay guys and stuff like that, and he was out drinking and having a good time, and then he went to stay with them at their place before coming back to his place the next day, and because he was too drunk to drive, and the guy came in, and even though Toby kept telling him no and everything, and it wasn't violent, the guy raped him and gave him an extra present, not HIV. I'm not going to get too involved in this, but and then he called. One of the last times he and I actually conversed, he apologized because it had happened to him, and then he realized how much of a violation of trust and the sanctity of your body and stuff it is. He's like, violence just makes it worse, but you can still have all of the negative effects emotionally and mentally without the violent part. And I haven't been with a woman since, by the way, and it has nothing. I'm not, it has nothing to do with anything. I'm not afraid of women or anything like that. It's just I haven't had the opportunity. Yeah, you don't want it out in the ether. I gotcha. Yeah, that's why I didn't use last names or go into massive amounts of detail. So yeah, I dated this guy to change the subject off of that stuff, and I dated this guy named Matt in high school, and he was awesome. And I decided, because I remember how his first name and how his last name are spelled. Hey, who's growling? No, the dogs got up on the chair and were growling at each other. Let me see your foot. Yeah, well, I'm looking at Gibbs's foot and petting the dogs because they jumped up on my lap and while Mom's in the kitchen. Do you guys want a cookie? Okay. And get down. Hey! Gibbs, why are you barking at Duck? not barking, growling. Why are you growling at Ducky? You gotta go outside? Okay, just want a cookie then. Ducky, leave your brother alone. I don't need you missing an eye or something. I don't know. He keeps going near his head, and then Gibbs starts growling.
Leave him alone.
Your ears bothering you? Oh. And this? No. I don't know. He wanted me to pet on him before he would take the cookie. Other than that, I have no idea. He put the cookie on the ground. Hold on, I gotta mute my microphone for a second. I'm back. I had to talk about dog issues and with my mom. Yeah. Well, not to you. My streams go on as videos later. Yeah, don't worry about it. I have to remind Jack of that every once in a while. Because this is not Twitch. This, I have a Twitch account. I never post because they only hold your videos for like 2 weeks and then you're gone forever, unless you have it transferred to YouTube. And if why use Twitch if I'm gonna have to transfer it to YouTube? So.
Good hunting weather.
I don't think he really wanted the cookie, other than just knowing he was a good boy and he deserved a cookie. Yeah, that too. back's bothering her the last few days. Probably. Oh, that's because I moved the microphone a little bit. Because I had one headphone on, one headphone off. What's that? I only did it because my mom was in the living room. Yeah, I know, because you're hearing. I got it. Just tell me if I start getting softer away, and I'll move the mic, or I'll put my headphone back on like I just did. Because I don't always know when I'm far away from the damn microphone, you know. It's all right.
I think us going to Sammy's like this is gonna do you a lot of good, Lincoln.
Yeah, lately, if I go into a quiet room, I hear a high-pitched sound, so... But my ears have also been a little bit clogged, so I don't think I've got tinnitus or anything. Otherwise, I'd hear that noise even playing video games and stuff.
On you again. Think she's setting her mind on doing something with Sammy's.
Can't hardly see what. The shape it's in and all.
Well, she's always been a woman of determination. Don't know if you recall, but after Perla passed, Sammy went to a dark place. Buried the lost deep down. Started running girls out the back of the bar at all hours of the night. Finally, Lily had had enough.
Well, yeah.
With the fire of God inside of her, kicked all those girls out. Customers, Sammy's crew.
My sinus has been all over the place because the weather here in California can't decide whether it's going to be spring or whether it's going to be winter.
But more importantly, he was doing wrong by you boys, sending a message that their mother didn't matter. From that point on, there was no more prostitution in that place.
Huh. All I remember from that time is Aunt Lily swooping in and taking us to her place for a few nights. Getting ice cream and such.
She protected you boys. Family like that's a gift from God, son.
This is my favorite DLC. I accidentally dropped a grenade again.
Let's walk on out front. You need to get on inside.
Yeah. It's $50 a bundle. Yeah, but you gotta take into account I'm on a restricted budget now, and so is my mom. So if I can't afford the 50, then buying one at a time, every month for like $20 or something like that would be better. Just for that. I'm probably gonna go in order just because it'd be easier on me. So I can look it up on the internet. Plus, yeah, I don't mind seasons. I don't mind. I wish they'd bring University back.
She's out of town, has an apartment in Tickfaw.
Because I liked playing. I liked setting it up so that I was playing a teenager.
I'll take her there.
And or a child sim, and working really hard to build them up, basically from the beginning, and going to university. Well, yeah, but they decided not to. At least so far, they decided not to do university yet.
Locked.
Because they've brought back a lot of different things that are kind of like homages to, multi-different generationals. of The Sims. Like they've got Strangerville, which is the same as something from the second Sims. They've got it's PC right now. It hasn't come to PlayStation yet. Yeah. And then they've brought pets. They've brought seasons. They've done the Get to Work, which is something that they started in 3. And then they've got this new one, Get Famous, which is basically Superstar. Shit like that. And
he tells a story.
So
shot him as he was running away.
It's just like they brought the spooky one. The vampires and ghosts and stuff in. And that's just like from like the second one as well. Sorry if I keep getting distracted. I'm investigation mode in the game.
Get your marks. Must have had him tied up.
Yeah.
So they drag him in here. When he tries to escape, they shoot him dead. But why were they in here at all?
Yes.
Now what the hell happened to you?
Go through what again?
Interesting.
Nah. Unfortunately, that's another thing that's going to get more common as we get older.
Never seen a card like this. Flowers hand painted. Looks like he took a knife to the gut.
Is that when your guests are coming, or?
No signs of being restrained.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Some kind of tattoo. Might mean something.
Well, things will get better.
Looks like you messed with the wrong girl.
Things always get better. If we didn't go through tragedy or anything like that, we wouldn't appreciate the good times.
That's what that girl Anna was saying.
I know. You're welcome. Your hand?
Shit. What the fuck are they burning? Some kind of incense or something.
Is it because of the way you're sitting?
Oh. Maybe for a ceremony of some kind.
Yeah.
This thing looks ritualistic.
I'm a natural night owl, so even when I was trying to get myself on a routine where I got up at 10 a.m., I still wasn't sleeping enough. So like, my mom's pointed out that if I don't try to push that kind of routine on myself, and if I do like the chores whenever I can, and if I do the errands when I can and stuff like that, that I don't have to be on a strict, schedule where I'm getting up at 10 a.m. and I'm going to bed at like midnight or whatever to try to get sleep. I just have to make sure I get my shit done. Like today, I got up, I made the phone call to Liberty Dental, my insurance, to verify that they had reactivated me, and then I made the call and made a dentist appointment before I left to go grocery shopping, and I also took a shower before that. And then I decided to go do grocery shopping, and then brought the groceries in. My mom put them away, which is probably why her back's killing her right now. And then I saw the park maintenance guy working on the street, because one of the drains doesn't drain completely, and sometimes there's like a puddle. And so he was sweeping the water into the drain. And I went over to him and I asked him if he knew a gardener, and now we've got a gardener, And then when I was making my pizza rolls earlier, before I started talking to you and everything, I was waiting for him to finish in the microwave, and I unloaded the dishwasher, reloaded it, got the big chicken pot because my mom boiled chicken, and put water in it, so that all I have to do tomorrow is wipe it out and then wash it. Because you got the chicken fat all over the inside of the, and then I can run the dishwasher before I go to bed tonight. So I'll be all caught up on all of the chores that I'm capable of doing by tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to teach Jack to do, is like every time he gets up to get something to eat or go to the bathroom or whatever, to ask mom if she needs anything, empty a cat box, take out trash, whatever. And if he does it every day or every other day as needed, because I know they don't have a dishwasher, they have to wash the dishes themselves. So if he does it every day or every other day or so and keeps up with it, it's not nearly as big of a problem. We've got, our garbage cans are 15-gallon bins. They're pretty big. And the reason for that is because we use a lot of recycles. So we needed the bigger bin for that. And then we don't use as much trash, so the bigger bin only has to be emptied out every other week. So this is a very sad story, this whole DLC. The only good part is when you start building up the Sammy's bar again. This girl, it turned out this girl is the bastard child of somebody in this cult. And the one talking right now on the left is her cousin or whatever. If you look, you can see the family resemblance. And she's, because of incest, the blonde-haired cousin is infertile. And also because of incest, her and her brother are crazy. These people fully believe that if they keep their white blood clean by interbreeding with each other and everything like that, that they'll bring forth like this, god or half god or demigod child to cleanse the earth or whatever and bring the white power back up. It's really crazy. But they basically trick Anna there into joining the cult, and then they basically rape her while she's under the influence, and get her pregnant. And she's never quite right after that. And then when she finds out exactly why everything was going on, she ends up killing herself. Yeah, it's a really sad story. It's my favorite DLC because of the fact that you get to rebuild the bar. But my favorite DLC just for storyline and feel good is Faster Baby, the one with the parish with the weed running and stuff. But this one's really hardcore in depth. Apparently, this cult was thought to be eradicated by the black community because they had basically these people, her ancestors, were so horrific and so nasty that the black community got together, locked them into a theater, and lit it on fire. Because these people were lynching them and killing them and in mass amounts and very horribly treating them. And what all it did was make them hide. Lincoln's half black, but as they put it in the beginning of the story, back then in the 60s, if you looked black, you were black. It didn't matter who your parents actually were. And there was a lot. Yeah. There was a lot of half-black children in the orphanages and stuff back then because they weren't accepted by the black community very much. And they weren't considered white enough to the white communities back then. They were considered an abomination, in fact, in some communities. Yeah. Yes. It was about a real singer who died. And she was killed over the stupidest fucking shit. Anyway. If I remember correctly, she was killed by a stalker or something, or by somebody, some family member because of money. Yeah. Just as she was about to make it big in the English music market too. Yep. Anyway, I'm going to stop streaming for tonight. I will do the kickbacks and continue with the DLC and getting Vito more land, because I forgot about that. Tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Seems what if I don't really have a schedule of what game I actually play, because like it's whatever I feel like playing. Anyway, I'll talk at you later. All right.